Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Hot News. I just want you to appreciate that we only have one day left with the Crosshawk. It's going away tomorrow. All right. So big thanks to everybody who tuned into the charity stream last Friday that made this possible. But I'm going to be glad to get rid of it. I think wearing it for a week is enough. I've only accidentally gone outside with it a couple times. I forget that it's there. But you know who I don't forget about? Today's video sponsor. My friends, today's video is sponsored by Private Internet Access. In these crazy times on the internet, running with a VPN is definitely the way to do it. Whether it's to make sure that all of your information is encrypted over the internet, or also making sure that you can unblock geo-restricted content, such as on Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus, or Netflix, PIA is the way to go. They are the leading no-log VPN service, and they were founded in 2010, and they're named PC Magazine's Editor's Choice. They have unlimited access to over 3,000 servers in 48 different countries with dedicated apps for Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, Fire Stick, Linux, and more. You can simultaneously connect up to 10 devices. There's a kill switch button, and there is no logging ever, which has been proven in courts multiple times that they do not keep your logs. They have multiple payment options, including PayPal, Bitcoin, and others, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as 24/7 live customer support. And my friends, if you're going to pick up PIA, you should do so at the link in the video description, where you're going to get 77% off, as well as 3 months free for you to use the leading no-log VPN service to make sure that you're protected on the internet, both from your data being kept, but also to just move around the internet the way that you want to use it. So check out PIA at the link in the video description. So let's go ahead and talk about AMD, because we've had big RTX 30 series news over the past little bit. And I mean, they came out of nowhere. They slapped us in the face with more performance than we were expecting, at least according to Nvidia and independent reports by Digital Foundry. But AMD is not to be outdone. Did we forget that we have new CPU and GPU launches coming out from them? Well, there's a new report coming out of Waterblock that Zen 3, at least in the EPYC server environment, should be 20% faster than Zen 2. However, we could potentially see some of this trickle down to us lame-o consumers who just buy the normal like Ryzen chips, not these super amazing EPYC ones. So according to Waterblock, we might actually be able to see an IPC increase, which should trickle down. There shouldn't hardly be a difference in IPC increase across the chips of about 15%, plus a 5% bonus of operating frequency optimization. So that might be the difference where we get, but I think anywhere between 10 to 15% year on year from AMD would be absolutely phenomenal. So getting Ryzen 4000 chips that are about 10 to 15% better than this generation could potentially mean that the RTX 3090 won't be bottlenecked by your lame-o piece of crap system. That's the second time I use lame-o today, but I'm going to stick with it. But that's not the only big thing. We talked about how AMD has CPUs and GPUs coming, and not to be outdone, when the launch of the 30 series happened, somebody tweeted, "There's just no way RDNA 2 gets close to the RTX 3000 performance if these numbers are real." And then Scott Herkelman, who is a VP over at AMD Radeon, just put the thinking face emoji, which could mean a couple things. It could mean that we shouldn't necessarily think that AMD's in trouble and Big Navi is going to come and just sock it to them and it's going to be a beautiful death match of GPUs, or he could be thinking face that the RTX 30 series numbers aren't as good as Nvidia is letting on. That could potentially be it. But that's not the only AMD employee who talked about it. No, we also got Frank Azor, who is the chief architect of gaming solutions at AMD, saying, "Nice launch from Nvidia yesterday on their new graphics cards. They're going to pair well with our latest AMD Ryzen CPUs. I can't wait to show you all the great products our Radeon team has been working on. What an awesome year to be a gamer," which is absolutely true. So could AMD be thinking up something really, really good for Big Navi? Or could it be what I guess my expectation is? AMD is not going to go toe-to-toe with the RTX 3090 and likely not even go toe-to-toe with the RTX 3080. But if they can get between 3070 and 3080 level performance for around $600, then that makes them the obvious buy within that price bracket. You've got 3070 here, Big Navi here, and then 3080 there. That seems about right. And given all of the leaks we've seen before, the Big Navi chip that we're expecting should be on par or slightly better than an RTX 2080 Ti, which is exactly what Nvidia is shipping the 3070 as. So that's my perspective on it. I don't think Big Navi is going to win the top dog fight, but I think they're going to continue with the marketing that they've had with regular Navi, which is we're the value option. We are still really good at our price to performance. Nobody can necessarily argue with the 5700 XT as just being a really good buy at its price point. $400, sometimes even being able to pick it up for $300 makes it an exceptional value over the Nvidia equivalent. Might we see something like that coming from AMD where they don't have to slap Nvidia in the face to compete at the high end? Maybe their days of beating the high end are done and they're just simply going to let us enjoy the value option. They're going to give it for the ever consumer and not for the mega enthusiast. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. But while we're excited for what AMD has coming out, don't forget what AMD already has out, which is their RX 5700 XT driver issues. Yes, my friends, apparently they're coming to Mac because the RX 5700 XT Pro version with 16 gigabytes of VRAM has been experiencing major issues on the Mac platform. Several users are complaining of a screen glitch that causes random lines to appear on the display on the 27-inch iMac. Apparently it's a driver issue and they're working on it. Yay, more driver issues from AMD. We'll see if they fix that ever, who knows. But let's talk about the RTX 30 series for a little bit because Alphacool came out with the first full coverage Waterblock for them or announced them. EK has still said theirs is coming soon. There's going to be other options, I'm sure, that come out sometime along the line. Bits Power also working on theirs. You can take a look at the Waterblock here. I think they look okay. It still doesn't solve the issue of having the power pin in the middle of the port, I don't think, or maybe it would be like over here. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to see. I think I like the look of EK's more because it looks more shrunken down, but it could just be the pictures here. But that's not the only product Alphacool announced. They have their leak testing tool, which is now available for around €30 over on their website, so you can make sure you don't have any leaks in your water cooling system. But let's talk more about the bundles that are coming with the RTX 30 series, which is Watch Dogs Legion, which makes sense. That's a good game to include. But apparently they're also going to be including a year of GeForce Now, which I don't understand because GeForce Now is for the people who don't have really good computers. I guess it could be used when you're like on the road with your Chromebook or your laptop or anything like that. But including it with a high-end graphics card makes no sense to me unless they let you redeem it for somebody else. Give me a GeForce Now subscription. I can give it to my friend who can't necessarily afford a $500 GPU, but he could still get the highest end gameplay performance. It's weird. We'll have to see what the terms and conditions are, including a game streaming service when the whole point of your game streaming service is nullified by the fact that you sell the hardware. What? Speaking of hardware, Palit also announced their RTX 30 series lineup. You can see they have their Gaming Pro version here and then their G-Skill Trident Z Royal looking friggin' Game Rock, which still has the rip-off Guitar Hero font, but then also has like the crystal meth looking stuff going on for the GPU. The RGB is not going to look that good, but Game Rock Edition still there. And finally, let's talk more about pricing for the RTX 30 series because there's been some pricing released over in the UK for the partner series models, and it does seem like for the most part the lower end cards are going to come in at MSRP, and then the higher end cards are going to be much more expensive, such as Asus's Strix, which is going to come in at nearly £1,600 as opposed to the regular KFA2 RTX 3090, which is going to come in at the stock standard £1,400. So you can see the majority of cards that you're going to be able to pick up, like a Ventus or the Zotac Trinity, is going to come in at $1,400, but then there's going to be more expensive options, and it kind of trickles all the way down from the 3080 and the 3070. The prices are going to be there. And lastly, Alienware. Not lastly, we've got one more thing after this. Alienware announcing that they're going to have Nvidia Ampere ready systems with their Aurora systems. So you can see that this is their innovative Asetek cooling setup, which we actually did a giveaway of the 2080 Super version of this over on the Brainus channel, which you can check out the video where we showed this off. But having that upgraded to the 30 series is quite nice. Quite nice. And this is the last little bit of Nvidia news. Somebody stacked up the 3090 and 3080, and it's bigger than a this is bigger than a Series X. Oh my gosh, this is courtesy of a tweet from Shen. He shows that the 3090 is just a beefy setup compared to all of the consoles. It's not only faster, but it's bigger too. Now, let's talk about the big news coming out from Intel yesterday, where they had their unveiling of not only Tiger Lake, but Intel Evo, which apparently is just a rebranding of Project Athena for their Ultrabook lineup. So this is their 11th gen Intel Core processors, and you can see all of the new branding that is shown up there. Specifically, the big things that they wanted to talk about was Intel Evo, which is going to give you a key few features that Athena was supposed to have, such as consistent responsiveness on battery, system wake up from sleep in less than 1 second, 9 or more hours of real-world battery life on 1080p systems, and fast charging with up to a 4-hour charge in under 30 minutes. You can see all of the stuff that they're talking about here on this slide from them. And then additionally, the regular 11th gen series processors, which are supposed to be really good in CPU performance as well, thanks to Project Z in GPU performance. They're saying up to 20% performance increase in CPUs, 2 times the graphics performance, and 5 times better AI performance. You can see the list here of the Tiger Lake chips that are supposed to be coming out, up to quad core on the high-end ones with Project Z. And not to be outdone, even though Intel says that they want to move away from benchmarks, they couldn't help but include benchmarks in their presentation, with them showing that, oh, look at that, our thing does run games better than the 4800U and the MX350. You suck, AMD and Nvidia. And then also showing that, oh man, we're faster than the 4800U in all of these things. Don't you know, converting to PDF, you need that extra 38% right there, 2.5 times faster in Premiere Pro, which I'm glad with this one, they're using Premiere Pro as the video editing benchmark, because I don't know if you remember, we covered their last announcement that they did. I can't remember what it was for, but they used some like weird knockoff third-party video editing software that I had never heard of, and it wasn't even like Sony Vegas. It was some like weird one that you can get bundled when you pick something else up. But then we also have some more benchmarks, such as video editing workflow right here versus the 4800U. Then you have up to 2 times gen over gen performance versus the 10th gen Intel Iris stuff in video games. You can see all right here that the 11th gen is faster. It is actually mostly faster than the 4800U, and then is mostly faster than the MX350, or at least stays on par. You'd see a few games where the MX350 shines through, such as PUBG, GTA 5, Fortnite, but Dungeon Defenders Awakened? Dungeon Defenders? Really? I love that game. Why is that included in benchmark? I haven't heard anybody talking about that. But that's not the only thing they changed. They also changed the little jingle at the end, you know, the Intel doo 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 doo. They made it more glitchy and jazzy. I don't like it. It sounds morphed and gross. I hate it, actually. Like, it's familiar but wrong. It's not, maybe it'll grow on me, but that just, the was like simple and clean and refined, and now they're just like, how do we make it EDM and ska and keep it cool for the hip kids? The other branding stuff's fine, like the logos and whatnot. Like, this is fine. This is a good redesign. You might want to look at that audio, friend. And then let's talk about quickly Schenker announcing their Via 14 Ultrabooks coming with the Tiger Lake CPUs. I'm actually specifically talking about this because I'm currently testing out one of their 10th gen laptops, and this thing is phenomenal, portable, light. I actually really love it, so stay tuned for our video on it. But they're upgrading it to Tiger Lake, which should increase performance, obviously, but then also battery life. Magnesium alloy chassis, super tiny. I love these Schenker laptops. So I'm glad that is getting an upgrade. Speaking of getting an upgrade, Mandalorian's getting an upgrade to Season 2. I just had to go with that transition. Season 2 hitting Disney Plus October 30th. And then also Lucid Motors hitting the roadway faster than anything else you've seen before. They're claiming that it should be the world's quickest production sedan. And they dropped a video of it doing a quarter-mile drag race versus a Tesla Model S and doing the quarter mile in 9.9 seconds, which is quite quick. So we'll see if that actually comes out to like full production. Lucid does seem to be a really cool car to the Lucid Air, but getting mass production is a completely different thing. So we'll see if this ever shapes out that most people could even have a ride in one. But you want to ride in a new expensive chair, Herman Miller announced their Logitech M-Body gaming chair, but they also dropped a new one, which is the Herman Miller Special Edition Aeron chair, which is gaming. It's a special gaming edition, and it's $50 less than the M-Body. So gaming chairs are expensive now. What's not going to be expensive on your hard drive is Cyberpunk 2077, with CD Projekt Red addressing over in a Reddit thread, or a Twitter thread, I think it was Reddit, where they talked about, hey, don't worry, we're not going to be Warzone. There's rumors flying around. we're not going to take 200 gigs. In fact, saying that they're going to probably be about the same as most AAA titles. So you could probably expect around 100 to 120 gigs, which isn't terrible considering the size of the world that we're expecting out of Cyberpunk 2077. But on top of that, they say that system requirements should be coming soon. I can tell you that I'm going to be ready to play this with my RTX 3090. Bet your bottom dollar, November 19th, I should have a 3090 at that point. I'm pre-ordering a Founders Edition. Or I'm ordering, whatever. There's no pre-orders. It's just going to launch and then you get it when you get it. And that is going to wrap it up for Hot News today, my friends. Don't forget to check out today's video sponsor. Again, big thanks to PIA for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check the link for them down below. 77% off plus 3 months free with them. Private internet access. Keep your internet access private. That's not their tagline, but I'm going with it. Now hit the like button. Get subscribed. Stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech Channel. You've been Hot News. I'll see you later.